Football clubs are the beating heart of every city. The passion and pride from the fans, developed from the tradition, values, and overall character shown by the players on the pitch. Each team has its fair share of club legends and cult heroes, but I will be talking about the absolute finest player in each squad's history. This is Club's Finest.
One player that you were frightened of?
Henri. You would know, mate. He was so quick.
Honestly, I'm still terrified of him now.
But he was the best by far, and he had everything. His movement, he was like the silent assassin, wasn't he? He could score with his head, go short, go in behind, right and left foot. He was incredible. But literally the night before games, he would be the one player in my career that I thought, it's going to be a tough day tomorrow. And you'd wake up. No one had that effect on me at all but him.
Someone at the end of their career. For me, who don't you want to face? He was the one that I thought, don't want to face this fella.
He was doing what he wanted. That's what it looked like. Even when you were playing against him, he's taking a mick. You just couldn't get. He could ride challenges, then he could put the accelerator on and leave quick players for dead. Yeah, Henri was just incredible. It was a period, even playing against him was like, it's so. It was just, you'd end up watching him. It was that good, and it was, even players around him, you couldn't mark him, you couldn't stop him, and that's something I didn't play against too often.
When I was in there, and some players I would see thinking, whoa, it's Thierry Henry, look. He was that effect he had on people. There's only a handful of players that I see in time have that effect. He was one of them. I see some players shrink in the tunnel. I see some players thinking, rare. When I watch the game on TV and I see the tunnel, I'm thinking, before the game's even started, before that man's head hit his pillow last night, Thierry was in his brain. Thierry had finished him off.
Arsenal FC are located in the north end of London, England. They are one of the most successful clubs in the history of English football. The team has been home to several fantastic players from around the world, but my pick for Club's Finest is the Frenchman, Thierry Henry. Quick shout out goes to Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira, and Tony Adams, who all had their case to be the club's finest. Thierry Henry came to England after feeling unsettled during his time in Italian side Juventus. He would be reunited with his former manager at Monaco, Arsene Wenger. Arsenal shelved out £11 million to purchase Thierry Henry, as they were looking to replace fellow French forward Nicolas Anelka. Henry had most often played on the wing during his career, but it was Arsene Wenger who would go on to mold him into a true striker. There were still a lot of people that doubted Henry and his ability to adapt to the physicality of the Premier League. Henry failed to score in his first initial 8 games at Arsenal, but would end up netting an impressive 26 goals. That season, Arsenal finished second in the Premier League, with Manchester United lifting the trophy. They also lost the UEFA Cup final against Galatasaray. Henry wanted to help establish Arsenal as a powerhouse of English football and win as much silverware as possible with the team. Henry is often in the conversation for the greatest Premier League player of all time. He played a total of 8 seasons with Arsenal and would go on to demonstrate his class to the world with his remarkable pace and finishing ability. The Frenchman has been awarded the PFA's Players' Player of the Season twice, while being the top scorer of the Premier League a record 4 times. He was also Europe's Golden Shoe winner twice during this period. He is the club's all-time top scorer, with 228 goals, while also providing 93 assists in a total of 336 appearances. Henry is also the only player to have ever recorded a 20-goal and 20-assist season in the Premier League. During his prime, Henry was the Ballon d'Or runner-up in 2003, and he was also awarded 3rd place in 2006. Henry has now been inducted into the English Football Hall of Fame and the PFA's Team of the Century. Throughout his international career at Arsenal, he was able to win the Euros with France in 2000, while being a starter for his country and scoring a crucial goal in the semi-final match versus Portugal. Henry and France also reached the World Cup final in 2006. but came up short to a very strong Italian side in the penalty shootout. It took Henry 3 seasons with the club to finally begin to win silverware. Arsenal would finish 7 points ahead of Liverpool to claim the Premier League title and made it a domestic double while defeating Chelsea in the FA Cup final. Henry would go on to win 2 more FA Cups and win the league title in 2003 and 2004, while being part of a team that would go the entire season undefeated. This team were nicknamed the Invincibles and were given the only golden Premier League trophy ever. Henry was close to achieving European success with the club, but fell short to Barcelona in the UEFA Champions League final. Thierry Henry is the most feared striker in the history of the Premier League. He was able to dribble past opponents with ease. He had a knack for getting assists while dribbling out wide. He was never a true aerial threat for Arsenal, but he was still gifted enough to make defenders think twice before leaving him alone in the box. Henry had swag, and was someone who wanted to bring success to the clubs he played in. The Arsenal fanbase loved to watch him play, and they had a true talisman to rally around. It isn't a coincidence that Arsenal have yet to win the Premier League title after he left the club. This is why, in my opinion, Thierry Henry is Arsenal's finest player of all time.